Welcome to this exciting journey around the globe. In the next hour, we're diving into fun and fascinating fact about every country in the world. Subscribe and let's start with this collection of facts and enjoy this new fascinating content, Zarpado. Afghanistan. It is ruled by the Taliban who took control of this country in August 2021 and have implemented their strict interpretation of Islamic law, resulting in significant restrictions on rights and freedoms, especially for women and girls. Albania. Albania's most illustrious figure is Mother Teresa of Calcutta. Although she was born in Skopje, now North Macedonia, her family was of Albanian origin. Germany. Here the motorways, known as Autobahnen, are famous for having certain sections with no speed limit. Approximately 65% of German motorways do not have a mandatory speed limit, although a speed of 130 kilometers per hour is recommended. Andorra. Here you will find the Roc del Caire, an impressive viewing platform that extends 20 meters above the void, of which 8 meters are suspended without support below, providing an exciting experience for visitors. Angola. Angola's official currency is the kwanza. A notable peculiarity of this currency is that Angolan kwanza cannot be taken out of the country, and attempts to do so are illegal, as it is intended to prevent capital flight. Antigua and Barbuda. The highest point in the country, formerly known as Boggy Peak, has been renamed in honor of former U.S. President Barack Obama. It is now called Mount Obama in recognition of his historic presidency and his ancestral ties to the Caribbean region. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is in the process of building what will be the world's largest hotel, the Abraj Khudai, in the holy city of Mecca. The hotel, once completed, will have 10,000 rooms, spread across 12 towers of 45 floors each. Algeria. The Algerian population has a strong Berber influence, one of the oldest cultures in North Africa. The language of this tribe is Tamazight, and in 2016, it was recognized as an official language in Algeria, along with Arabic. Argentina. Argentina's national drink is yerba mate, an infusion that has its roots in indigenous Guarani cultures and is prepared by filling a gourd called mate with yerba and adding hot water. This is drunk through a straw, a kind of metal straw that filters the leaves. Armenia. Armenia was the first country to adopt Christianity as its official religion in 301 AD under the reign of Tiridates III. Aruba. Known for its white sand beaches and crystal clear waters, it offers unique experiences such as visiting Flamingo Beach, a beach on a private island accessible from Aruba via organized boat tours. Upon arrival at the beach, visitors are greeted by a colony of pink flamingos roaming freely on the sand and shallow waters. Australia. Here you will find the largest sand island in the world, Fraser Island, with an impressive length of 122 kilometers. The island got its name in honor of Eliza Fraser, a European woman who was shipwrecked on its shores in 1836 and who survived thanks to the help of the local Aboriginal tribes, known as the Butchulla. Austria. One of the curiosities that surprised us the most is that although the croissant is commonly associated with French pastries, it originated in Austria. Also, Adolf Hitler was Austrian. Azerbaijan. This country is home to approximately 400 active mud volcanoes, more than any country in the world. These are known locally as Yanardağ, or fiery volcanoes, but they do not emit lava, but instead expel mud, water, and gases. Bahamas. Here is the island of Big Major Cay, also known as Pig Beach. This small, uninhabited island is famous for its approximately 20 swimming pigs that have become a major tourist attraction as they live freely on the island and enjoy swimming in the warm Caribbean waters. Bahrain. The Al Khalifa family has ruled the country since the 18th century. This dynasty came to power in 1783 when Ahmed ibn Muhammad al-Khalifa, known as Ahmed the Conqueror, led the takeover of Bahrain. Today, Hamad bin Isa al-Khalifa is the king, and Salman bin Hamad bin Isa al-Khalifa is the prime minister. Bangladesh. It is home to one of the most majestic species in the animal kingdom, the Bengal tiger. This impressive feline finds its refuge in the Sundarbans, the largest mangrove swamp in the world with an intricate network of rivers and canals, which stretches across the southwest of the country and part of India. Barbados. It is the birthplace of one of the brightest stars in the world of music, Rihanna. In Barbados, Rihanna is a national icon and a source of pride for her compatriots. In 2018, the government of Barbados appointed her as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, recognizing her contribution to culture and the promotion of the country on the global stage. Belarus. Home to the European Bison Sanctuary, the largest land mammal in Europe, Belize is known as the Belowezhskaya Pusha National Park. Belize, one of its islands, is owned by the famous actor and environmental activist Leonardo DiCaprio. This island, called Blackador Cay, was purchased by DiCaprio in 2005 with the aim of building a luxury eco-resort that will not only be environmentally friendly, but will also help restore and protect the local ecosystem. Benin. Despite being one of the smallest countries in Africa and known by very few, it is home to more than 50 different ethnic groups. The Fon are the majority group, representing more than a third of the population. Bolivia. There are no McDonald's in Bolivia. Bosnia-Herzegovina. The official drink in Bosnia and Herzegovina is coffee, but specifically Bosanska Kafa, which is very similar to Turkish coffee. This is ground in a special pot called a jezva and served in small cups with its strong flavor, accompanied by a sweet, such as a lokum, a Turkish delight. Botswana. Here is the only population of swimming lions found in the Okavango Delta. This unique population of lions has developed exceptional swimming skills due to its canals, which forces the lions to adapt to the aquatic conditions in order to survive. Brazil. Here is the Lençóis Maranhenses National Park, which, although often called a desert, is actually a region where something extraordinary happens. It rains a lot, but there are also white sand dunes that stretch for miles. Brunei. It is known for being one of the two remaining absolute monarchies in Asia. Under the reign of Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, Brunei has maintained a system of government where the monarch has almost unlimited power. Renowned for his vast personal wealth, his fortune is estimated to be worth around $20 billion, making him one of the richest people in the world. Bulgaria. In Bulgaria, shaking your head sideways means yes, while shaking it up and down means no, contrary to all countries. Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is famous for hosting the Tour de Faso, an annual cycling race that is considered the African equivalent of the Tour de France. This competition attracts cyclists from across the African continent and beyond, and is a major event in the country's sporting calendar. Burundi. A notable curiosity about Burundi is its position on the Population Happiness Index. Burundians are often ranked last on this index, making it the country with the lowest life satisfaction in the world, often labeled as the most miserable. Bhutan. Bhutan, a small kingdom in the Himalayas, has gained global recognition for its commitment to gross national happiness. An index first introduced in Bhutan in the 1970s by the fourth king, Jigme Singye Wangchuck, which focuses on psychological well-being, environmental conservation, and cultural preservation, leaving aside the typical GDP per capita. Belgium. A notable curiosity about Belgium is that the city of Antwerp, located in the Flemish region of the country, is known as the world capital of diamonds, as it plays a central role in the global diamond trade, especially in terms of cutting, trading, and selling 84% of these precious stones in the world. The Antwerp Diamond Exchange, founded in 1893, is one of the oldest and most prestigious in the world, where multi-million-dollar transactions of rough and polished diamonds are carried out. Cape Verde. It is considered the most democratic country in Africa, and its citizens enjoy significant political rights, including regular and fair elections, as well as active participation in the political life of the country through political parties and other civil organizations. Cambodia. The Cambodian language, also known as Khmer, consists of 72 letters, making it the largest alphabet in the world. It is also known for having the only national flag and coat of arms in the world that features a prominent historical building, Cambodia's famous Angkor Wat Temple. Cameroon. Here is Lake Nyos, considered the most poisonous lake in the world. What makes it so dangerous is its periodic release of large amounts of carbon dioxide and other volcanic gases. Canada. Despite being the second largest country in the world by total area, Canada has a considerably smaller population than the state of California in the United States. Chad. A notable curiosity about Chad is the intense militarization of its cities, especially in the capital, N'Djamena. This is due to the war with Libya in the 1980s and the subsequent civil wars. This is why it is important to be cautious when taking photographs in this country. Chile. Home to the Gran Torre Santiago, the tallest building in South America at approximately 300 meters tall. China. It has the largest military in the world in terms of personnel, with more than 2 million men and women on active duty. China is also the country with the second highest defense budget on the planet at $300 billion after the United States. Cyprus. It is divided into two main entities: the Republic of Cyprus, the southern part of the island that controls approximately 59% of the territory, and which has been a member of the European Union since 2004. Then there is the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, the northern part of the island that is recognized only by Turkey and emerged as a result of Turkish military intervention in 1974 in response to a Greek coup seeking union with Greece. Colombia. Here you will find a lost city called Tayuna in the dense jungle of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta. To reach this archaeological site, you need to take a hike of approximately 3 days along trails that cross a humid and well-preserved jungle. Comoros. Have you ever heard anyone talk about this country? It is a country where Islam is the predominant religion, with approximately 98% of the population professing it. Republic of the Congo. In the 1960s, the famous revolutionary leader Che Guevara was in the Republic of the Congo. Guevara saw in the Congo an ideal setting to begin a guerrilla campaign, influenced by the political situation after the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, the first president of the independent Congo, and the desire to free himself from colonialism. Democratic Republic of the Congo. Kinshasa, the capital of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Brazzaville, the capital of the Republic of the Congo, are the two closest capitals in the world between two different countries just 7 kilometers away. South Korea. South Korea is home to some of the most recognized companies worldwide in various industrial sectors, such as Samsung Electronics, Hyundai Motor Company, LG Electronics, and Kia Corporation. North Korea. It has functioned as an absolute monarchy, as since its founding in 1948, the country has had only 3 leaders who have exercised totalitarian control over the state and society: Kim Il-sung, his son Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-un's son, currently in power. Costa Rica. The Bahia Ballena region is located in a peculiar geographical formation, with a distinctive shape of a whale's tail seen from above. Croatia. In Croatia, there is the city of Hum, which calls itself the smallest city in the world. Located in the Istria region, Hum has a population of approximately 20 inhabitants, and its urban area covers only a few hectares, and is known for its medieval charm, narrow cobblestone streets, and historic architecture. Cuba. Cuba is known for having a high number of qualified doctors in proportion to its population. With approximately 70,000 qualified doctors, the country has invested considerably in medical education, and compared to the entire African continent, Cuba has more doctors. Curacao. This island in the Caribbean Sea is located a very short distance from mainland Venezuela. Barely 50 kilometers separate Curacao from the Venezuelan mainland. Ivory Coast. It is the world leader in cocoa production. Another curious fact is that on 2 occasions, the Ivorian national team won penalty shootouts with particularly high results. In the first case, the score ended with a result of 11-10, and in the second case, with a score of 12-11. Denmark. The flag of Denmark, known as the Dannebrog in Danish, is recognized as the oldest national flag in the world that is still in continuous use. It is said to have been first adopted in the 13th century. Dominica. It was named by Christopher Columbus, who sighted the island for the first time on a Sunday, specifically on November 3, 1493. In honor of this day of the week, Columbus named it Dominica, which means Sunday in Latin. Ecuador. This country owes its name to the imaginary equatorial line that divides the Earth into the northern and southern hemispheres. This line passes directly through Ecuador, which gave the country its name. Additionally, the Galapagos Islands, famous for their unique biodiversity and instrumental in Charles Darwin's formulation of the theory of evolution, are in Ecuador. Egypt. It is the most visited country in Africa and is home to the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world still standing, the Pyramid of Giza. El Salvador. At just over 21,000 square kilometers, El Salvador is the smallest country in Central America in terms of area. However, it is the most densely populated country in the Americas, with a population of approximately 6.5 million. United Arab Emirates. The most expensive artificial island in the world, Jumeirah Bay Island, has been built in Dubai. The construction of this island has been extremely expensive, reaching an estimated cost of $40 billion. Additionally, the Emirates Palace in Abu Dhabi is known to be the most expensive hotel in the world. The construction of this iconic hotel cost approximately $3 billion, setting a record as the most expensive hotel ever built to date. Eritrea. Considered the most unknown country in Africa, Eritrea has since its independence in 1993 been a one-party state, with the People's Front for Democracy and Justice as the only legal political party. Scotland. You probably use a Scottish invention every day without knowing it. Did you know that the telephone was invented by Scott Alexander Graham Bell? If you watch TV, you have another Scott to thank for it. John Logie Baird. Even the wheels on your car have a Scottish origin, thanks to John Boyd Dunlop. Slovakia. Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, is unique among European capitals due to its geographical location. Its administrative boundaries directly touch the borders of Austria and Hungary. This situation makes Bratislava the only national capital in the world that directly borders 2 independent countries, Austria to the west and Hungary to the south. Slovenia. The Triple Bridge is one of the most prominent symbols of Europe and Slovenia. This bridge consists of 3 adjacent bridges that span the Ljubljanica River in the city's historic center. Spain. This country is home to Sobrino de Botín, recognized as the oldest continuously operating restaurant in the world. Located in Madrid, this establishment has maintained its reputation and charm since 1725 and was founded by Candido Remis, nephew of a French chef living in Madrid named Jean Botín, hence its name. United States, a 16-year-old student designed the current flag. Student Robert G. Heft created the design by cutting out parts of an old flag belonging to his grandparents as an assignment for history class. Estonia. Estonia has become a hotbed for startups, several of which have reached unicorn status, meaning they are valued at over $1 billion. Notable Estonian unicorns include Wise, a disruptive fintech company, and Bolt, an innovative platform that offers mobility and car-sharing services. Eswatini. One of the most distinctive traditions of the king, currently Mswati III, is the practice of polygamy. The king chooses his wives in a traditional dance ceremony, where he selects from among the country's young women. Currently, King Mswati III has 14 wives. Ethiopia. Ethiopia uses a unique calendar that differs from the standard Gregorian calendar. Its year is divided into 13 months, with 12 months of 30 days each and an additional month of 5 or 6 days, depending on whether it is a leap year or not. It is also the only African country that was never formally colonized by a European power. Philippines. It is one of the few countries in the world that has 2 official flags along with Bolivia. The first is the national flag, which is the well-known blue, red, and white flag with a yellow sun and 3 stars and a white triangle on the blue side. And the second is the presidential flag, which is used exclusively by the President of the Philippines and is similar to the national flag, but with an additional blue stripe at the top and bottom. Finland. It has been consistently ranked as one of the happiest countries in the world according to the United Nations World Happiness Report. Also in Sonka, a peculiar championship known as Carrying Loaded Wives is held annually. Fiji. It is made up of an archipelago of 333 islands, of which approximately 110 are inhabited and 223 are uninhabited. Also in 2005, the famous actor Mel Gibson purchased the wizard island of this country for $15 million. France. According to French law, it is legally prohibited to name a pig after Napoleon, showing historical respect toward the figure of Napoleon Bonaparte. Gabon. In Gabon, there is a unique species of orange-colored crocodiles that are only found in the country's caves. Gambia. Gambia is the smallest country in continental Africa and was formed as a result of a treaty between the British and the French in the 19th century. At the time, the French controlled Senegal, and the British gained control of the Gambia River, thus establishing a colony that would later become the independent country of Gambia. Georgia. It is considered one of the oldest wine regions in the world, dating back over 8,000 years, which is made in large clay amphorae called kvavery. Also, USSR leader Stalin was born in this country. Ghana. In 1957, Ghana became the first African country to gain its independence under the leadership of Kwame Nkrumah, who became the first president of Ghana. That is why Barack Obama chose Ghana as the destination of his first official visit to Africa as President of the United States in 2009. Grenada. Off the coast of Grenada lies a fascinating underwater sculpture park. Created by British sculptor Jason de Taylor, the park features a collection of sculptures submerged in the seabed. Greece. Greeks are known to be very superstitious, and they protect themselves against the evil eye by wearing the nazar, an amulet with a blue eye. Another clear example of Greek superstition is that many houses have the typical domed roofs of a deep blue color. According to tradition, this color wards off the evil eye. Guatemala. The quetzal is the national bird of Guatemala since its plumage was used to adorn the clothing of kings and priests. This bird is also the symbol of the Guatemalan currency, which is called quetzal. Guinea. Guinea has the world's largest reserves of bauxite, the main mineral used to produce aluminum. This resource is the country's most exported mineral. Guinea-Bissau. Here, the wages of common workers, such as factory employees or cashiers in stores, are very low, around $30 or $40 a month. Equatorial Guinea. The official currency of Equatorial Guinea is the Central African franc, which is the common currency of 6 independent states in Central Africa: Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Republic of the Congo, Gabon, and Equatorial Guinea. It is backed by the French Treasury, giving it greater stability and confidence in the international market. Guyana. Guyana is the only country in South America whose official language is English, which is due to its past as a British colony before gaining independence in 1966. In addition, it is the only country in South America where male homosexuality remains illegal. Haiti. It is known for being the first country in the world to abolish slavery permanently. This historic achievement occurred in 1804 when Haiti declared its independence from France and became the first independent black republic in the world. Honduras. In 1969, a conflict known as the Football War, or 100-Hour War, broke out between Honduras and El Salvador. The conflict was catalyzed by a football match between the national teams of both countries in a World Cup qualifying match in which the El Salvador team was defeated. Hungary. Did you know that Hungarian is the most difficult language in the world? It takes an average of 7 years to become fluent, and approximately 13 million people speak Hungarian worldwide, but almost all of them live in Hungary. India. In India, the cow is revered as a sacred animal due to its symbolic role as a symbol of generosity and abundance. Furthermore, it is common to make the mistake of calling the inhabitants of India Hindus, as this refers specifically to those who practice Hinduism, one of the several religions present in the country. Indonesia. Made up of 17.504 islands, Indonesia is home to the Rafflesia arnoldi flower, the largest flower in the world that can reach more than 1 meter in diameter. England. This is where London is located, the largest city in Europe, and the largest in the world in the 19th century. Additionally, following the Norman invasion in 1066, French became the official language of England until 1362. Iraq. Since 2016, Iraq has implemented a total ban on the production and sale of alcohol throughout the country. Violators of this law face fines ranging from $8,000 to $20,000, depending on the severity of the violation. Ireland. The harp is a musical instrument of great importance in Irish music, a prominent Celtic symbol that represents the country's cultural identity. This emblem even features in the design of the Irish euro. In addition, it has very peculiar sports, such as Gaelic football and hurling. Northern Ireland. The famous Titanic ocean liner was built at the Harland and Wolff shipyards in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Iran. Although Iran's official currency is the rial, it is common for people to speak in domains. 10 rials equal 1 domains. Iceland. Unlike many other places in the world, Iceland is notable for the absence of ants, due to its cold climate and rocky soil. Israel. Israel is known for reviving the Hebrew language, which had been a dead language for centuries. Today, Hebrew is one of the 2 official languages of Israel, along with Arabic. Additionally, the holiest day of the year in Jewish tradition is during Yom Kippur, where the streets and roads are completely free of car traffic. Italy, known for having the largest number of UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the world. Jamaica, known worldwide as the birthplace of reggae and the birthplace of legendary musician Bob Marley, as well as the world's fastest man, Usain Bolt. Japan. It is common to see almost all pedestrians in Japan wearing face masks, especially during cold season or due to concerns about pollution. Jordan. Jordan takes its name from the Jordan River, one of the most significant rivers in the region, and a historical site of religious significance. Known as the Switzerland of the Middle East, it stands out for its relative political stability and economic development compared to its internationally conflicted neighbors such as Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Israel-Palestine. Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is home to the famous Baikonur Cosmodrome, which is the world's first and largest operational space launch facility. This historic site has been crucial to numerous space missions, including the legendary flight of Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space, on April 12, 1961. Kenya. Kenyan environmentalist Wangari Maathai made history by becoming the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004. She was recognized for her outstanding work in promoting democracy, human rights, and environmental conservation through the Greenbelt movement. Kyrgyzstan. In Kyrgyzstan, men wear the kalpak, a traditional hat, year-round. Also, although it is illegal today, bride kidnapping is a long-standing tradition in Kyrgyzstan. This practice involves the bride being kidnapped by the marriageable young man with the consent of the parents, although in some cases it occurs without the bride's approval. Kiribati. It is known for being the first country to welcome the new year due to its location on the international dateline. In more urbanized places such as the capital, Tarawa, you can see fireworks displays and public events organized for the community. Kuwait. Kuwait is known for being one of the richest countries in the world due to its vast oil reserves, which accounts for more than 90% of its economic income. In addition, its currency, the Kuwaiti dinar, is the most valuable currency in the world in terms of value against the US dollar. One Kuwaiti dinar is equivalent to approximately $3. Laos. It is the most bombed country in the world, having suffered intensely during the Vietnam War, being the object of a devastating bombing campaign by the United States. Between 1964 and 1973, more than 2 million tons of bombs were dropped on the country. Despite its tragic past, Laos is home to the Mekong River, which forms an archipelago known as the 4,000 Islands. Lesotho. Lesotho is the only country in the world whose territory is entirely above 3,300 feet of altitude. More than 80% of its territory is even above 5,900 feet, giving it the title of the Kingdom in the Sky. Latvia. Latvia is home to Europe's widest waterfall, known as the Venta Rapids, with a width of 272 yards. Liberia. After the Ebola outbreak in 2014, Liberia implemented a law banning the consumption of wild animals. As a sustainable alternative, the breeding of giant snails in Liberia has increased. These mollusks are fast reproducing and high in protein, offering a viable food source that could help discourage hunting and consumption of illegal meats. Libya. It was ruled by Muammar Gaddafi, who staged a military coup in 1969, overthrowing the local monarch and establishing his regime that lasted 42 years. But after a popular uprising and support from Western countries, Gaddafi was overthrown and killed in 2011, triggering a civil war that has persisted in Libya to this day. Liechtenstein. It is the only country in the world that owes its name to those who bought it. Emperor Charles VI decreed that the county of Vaduz and the lordship of Schellenberg be united to form a principality named Liechtenstein in honor of Prince Anton Florian of Liechtenstein. Lithuania. It is the only country with its own perfume. The scent of Lithuania is a perfume that evokes a unique blend of notes that represent Lithuania's identity and nature. It is composed of aromas that include bergamot, ginger, raspberry, amber, and tree moss, among others. Luxembourg. Luxembourg stands out on the world economic scene for having the highest GDP per capita in the world, reaching approximately $127,076. In addition, Luxembourg is the last remaining Grand Duchy in the world. The country is ruled by Grand Duke Henri of Luxembourg. Lebanon. Byblos, located north of Beirut in Lebanon, is considered the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world. Archaeological studies suggest that this city has a history dating back more than 7,000 years. North Macedonia. Kokino is an archaeo-astronomical site in North Macedonia, which is often called the Macedonian Stonehenge because of its resemblance to Stonehenge in England. It is known for its megalithic observatory dating back to the Bronze Age. Madagascar. Madagascar is the largest island in Africa and the fourth largest in the world, behind only Greenland, New Guinea, and Borneo. The people who live here are called Malagasy, which refers to both the people and the language and culture of the country. Malaysia. The Petronas Twin Towers, located in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, held the title of the tallest buildings in the world from their completion in 1998 until 2004 at 1,483 feet. Malawi. Malawi is known internationally as the warm heart of Africa. The reason? Its people. When you travel around this country, you will be amazed by the kindness and hospitality of its inhabitants. In addition, in 2006, Malawi was the subject of international public attention when David Banda Mwalashikoni, a Malawian orphan, was adopted by pop star Madonna. Maldives. Despite having a 100% Muslim population, which influences many of its laws and customs, tourist resorts operate differently, living practically outside these laws. In these resorts, restrictions on alcohol and clothing are considerably relaxed to accommodate visitors. Malta. Known as the smallest country in the European Union, if you've heard Homer's classic, The Odyssey, Malta's Gozo Island was home to Calypso, the nymph who imprisoned Ulysses, hero of the Trojan War and protagonist of the play. And guess what? In Malta, you can visit Calypso's cave on the island. Mali. This is the only country where Bogolanfini weaving is made, which is made by dyeing hand-woven fabric with mud. Despite its rich cultural heritage, it is currently one of the poorest countries in the world, with 70% of its population living on less than $1 a day, and less than 10% of Malians earning more than $2 a day. Morocco. It is the #1 tourist destination in all of Africa, attracting more than 10 million tourists a year. In addition, the Al Qarawiyyin University, located in Fez, is the oldest university in the world that is still in operation, having been founded in 859 AD. Marshall Islands. Elugelab, one of the Marshallese Islands, no longer exists, having been destroyed by the American Army in 1952 during a hydrogen bomb test. Mauritius. The national animal of Mauritius is the dodo, a bird that has sadly become extinct. This peculiar bird was brutally hunted by the first European settlers, who found that it provided good meat and was easy to hunt due to its lack of natural predators on the island. Mauritania. In Mauritania, drinking tea is more than just a custom. Mauritanians usually consume an average of 9 teas a day, enjoying a mixture of green tea with mint and lots of sugar. This tea is known as desert green tea. Micronesia. In this country, the official currency is the dollar, and here bars and restaurants close their doors around 10 at night. Very early, right? Moldova. Known for its vast vineyards and winemaking tradition, it houses the largest wine collection in the world, the Milesti Mici underground wine cellar, which has an underground labyrinth that houses around 2 million bottles of wine. Mongolia. It is known for having been the epicenter of the Mongol Empire, the largest and most extensive empire in the history of mankind, which was founded by Genghis Khan in the early 13th century. Montenegro. It houses the impressive Tara River Canyon, recognized as the largest in Europe and the second largest in the world. It has a depth of 4.265 feet and a length of approximately 51 miles. Mozambique. Here, the local diet revolves around cassava root, a nutritious and versatile root that is consumed baked, sun-dried, cooked, or ground into coarse flour to prepare a variety of traditional dishes. Myanmar. One of the most distinctive aspects is the widespread use of the longi, a traditional skirt pants that both men and women wear daily. In addition, people chew a mixture known as local gum, composed of betel leaves, areca nut, tobacco, and hydroxide. Finally, giraffe women or padaongs are part of a Tibeto-Burmese ethnic minority known as Kayan. Mexico. It is known for being the site of the meteorite impact that is believed to have caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. This event occurred about 66 million years ago on the Yucatan Peninsula. Monaco. Approximately 1 in 3 people here is a millionaire, making it one of the countries with the highest concentration of wealth per capita in the world. Namibia. Namibia is the second least populated country on the planet and is home to the world's oldest desert, the Namib Desert, which stretches along the country's Atlantic coast, famous for its towering red dunes. Nauru. Its main source of income comes from the exploitation of phosphate, which was the backbone of its economy. However, these reserves are rapidly being depleted, making it increasingly dependent on external aid, especially from neighboring countries such as Taiwan, New Zealand, and Australia. Nepal. It is the only country with the triangular flag consisting of 2 triangles symbolizing the Himalayan mountains. In addition, the country has the slowest internet in the world due to its mountainous topography and complicates the installation of telecommunications infrastructure and the expansion of broadband networks. Nicaragua. Its capital, Managua, is home to 2 amazing places: the Rubén Darío National Theater, internationally recognized by the New York Times for its exceptional acoustic design as the best in Latin America, and Lake Managua, the only one that houses a population of freshwater sharks. Nigeria. Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa and has the highest GDP. Nigeria's Nollywood industry is a powerhouse, producing over 2,000 films a year, and is the second largest in the world in production, behind only Bollywood in India. Norway, home to the world's longest road tunnel, the Lærdal Tunnel. At over 15 miles long, this tunnel cuts through the heart of the mountains between the towns of Lærdal and Åland. New Zealand. It was the first country in the world to approve women's suffrage in 1893, thanks to Kate Shepherd, who led a historic movement to secure women's political rights in the country. Niger. The historic city of Agadez stands as a cultural treasure and is famous for its impressive adobe mosque that combines elements of the Sahelian style with Islamic influences. Oman. In Oman, the khanjar is a distinctive Omani knife with a curved blade and a decorated handle. It is much more than a traditional curved knife. It is a symbol rooted in the country's culture and history. Palestine. Palestine is divided into 2 distinct areas: the West Bank, which is governed by Fatah, a movement founded by Yasser Arafat in the 1960s, and the Gaza Strip, which since 2007 has been under the rule of the Islamic resistance movement known as Hamas, a radical Islamist movement that seeks to implement Islamic law. Pakistan. Pakistan is the only Muslim country to possess nuclear weapons. And on the other hand, Malala Yousafzai, the young Pakistani activist, became the youngest person from her country to receive the Nobel Prize. Palau. It is the only country in the world where Japanese is an official language due to its period under Japanese rule. In addition, together with Bangladesh and Japan, they are the only three countries with a flag consisting of a circle on a flat background. Panama. In its capital, Panama City, this is the only one in the world to have a tropical forest within its urban limits. Surprising, right? Papua New Guinea. It is known for its amazing cultural diversity, with approximately 850 different languages spoken by its numerous ethnic groups. Paraguay. Paraguay has lost up to half of the men in its history. The War of the Triple Alliance, a devastating conflict in which the country faced Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay under the leadership of Francisco Solano Lopez, had disastrous consequences, including enormous loss of life, economic collapse, and significant territorial losses for Paraguay. Netherlands. The Dutch are the tallest people in the world, with an average height of 72 inches in men and 67 inches in women. Peru, home to Lake Titicaca, situated at more than 12,500 feet above sea level and covering a vast area of 3,205 square miles. This lake is recognized as the highest navigable lake on the planet and the largest in South America. Poland. Here is the largest castle in the world, the Malbork Castle. With its medieval architecture, it is strategically located on the banks of the Nogat River and extends over an area of approximately 21 hectares. Portugal. In its history, there are two curious records of monarchs. On the one hand, Alfonso I Henrique, who ruled during the 12th century, holds the title of the country's longest reigning king, lasting 73 years. On the other hand, King Louis Philippe is known for being Portugal's shortest-lived monarch, a reign that lasted just 20 minutes. Qatar. It has one of the most unbalanced gender ratios in the world, with only 24.7% of its population made up of women. This imbalance is explained by the large number of migrant workers, mostly men, who come to the country alone for jobs in sectors such as construction and oil. Central African Republic. The Central African Republic is geographically located in the center of the African continent, with no direct access to the sea. Czech Republic. It is the birthplace of Sigmund Freud, the famous psychoanalyst. Dominican Republic, home to Santo Domingo, the oldest continuously inhabited city in the Americas, and the first seat of Spanish colonization in the New World. Where the first Spanish ships arrived, it was founded in 1498 by Bartholomew Columbus, brother of Christopher Columbus. Rwanda. It has faced a painful past, marked by many genocides in the 1990s. Despite this today, the country stands out for its robust democracy and is one of Africa's technological leaders. Romania, home to its own version of America's Mount Rushmore. On the banks of the Danube, we find the imposing statue of Decibel, an ancient ruler of the Romanians, which is carved into the rock and was carved by 12 mountaineering sculptors over 10 years, reaching a height of 180 feet. Russia. Siberia occupies 77% of Russia's surface. With over 13 million square kilometers, Siberia is the largest region in the country, but surprisingly, it has an extremely low population density, with only 8 inhabitants per square mile, and only 28% of the Russian population resides there. Solomon Islands. One of the islands is named after President Kennedy. During World War II, John F. Kennedy commanded a naval fleet that was stranded on the Solomon Islands in 1943. Kennedy and his surviving companions had to swim to a nearby, uninhabited island known as Plum Pudding Island. In honor of this event, the island was renamed the Kennedy Islands. Interestingly, Kennedy kept a coconut shell from the Solomon Islands in his presidential office as a memento of this historic incident. Samoa. This is where the fire staff ceremony originated, where participants dance while performing acrobatics with the staff. the ends of which are wrapped in burning rags. Hence the name of the ceremony and the dance. St. Kitts and Nevis. These are two islands, and on St. Kitts there is a preserved railroad used for tourism. The St. Kitts Scenic Railway, also known as the Sugar Train, is a historic narrow-gauge railway built in the early 20th century to transport sugar cane from the island's plantations to the factory in Basseterre. San Marino, recognized as the oldest republic in the world, it was founded on September 3rd, 301 AD. St. Martin. This is a unique island in the Caribbean that is divided between two nations. The Dutch side, known as Sint Maarten, which has a vibrant nightlife that has earned it the nickname the Las Vegas of the Caribbean, and the French side, called Saint Martin, which focuses more on tranquility and gastronomy. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. St. Vincent is the country's main island, while the Grenadines refer to the 32 smaller islands that surround it. As a fact, Jesse Lingard, former Manchester United footballer, has St. Vincentian roots. St. Lucia. This is the first country in the world to be named after a woman. This Caribbean nation takes its name from St. Lucia, a Christian martyr, reflecting the country's deep historical and cultural ties to Christianity. San Tomé and Príncipe. It is home to the true center of the world, where the line of the equator and the Greenwich Meridian intersect. This happens on the island of Rolas, an islet belonging to this country, and is the closest territory to the center of the planet. Senegal. It is home to unique natural phenomena, such as the Pink Lake, caused by its high salt content, which is up to 10 times higher than that of the sea. In addition, its capital, Dakar, is known for the Dakar Rally, a famous motor racing competition that used to end in this city. Serbia. It faces a unique geopolitical situation regarding Kosovo, a region that declared its independence from Serbia in 2008. While Serbia does not recognize Kosovo as an independent state, numerous countries, including the United States, have recognized Kosovo as a sovereign and autonomous state. Seychelles. It has the highest per capita income of all African countries and is also the smallest country in Africa. In addition, it is the exclusive home of the coco de mer, a tropical tree that produces the largest seed in the world, with fruits that can weigh up to 44 pounds. Sierra Leone. Following a devastating civil war that wreaked havoc on the country, life expectancy in Sierra Leone is alarmingly low, at approximately 47.5 years according to WHO data, the lowest in the world, comparable to life expectancy in Europe during the French Revolution. Singapore. Chewing gum is prohibited here and is not sold throughout the country. Syria. It stands out among Arab countries for having a constitution that establishes a secular state. Since adopting its constitution, it has remained committed to the separation of religion and state, contrasting with many of its neighbors where Islamic law strongly influences legislation in daily life. Somalia. Somalia, located in the Horn of Africa, is distinguished by being the only country on the continent with a remarkable ethnic homogeneity. The Somali ethnic group is predominant in Somalia, constituting the vast majority of its population. Sri Lanka. It has the honor of being the first country in the world to elect a woman as prime minister. In 1960, Sirimavo Bandaranaike was elected prime minister. South Africa. There are 3 capitals. Pretoria is the seat of executive power, where the office of the president and the ministries are located. Bloemfontein is the seat of the judiciary, home to the Supreme Court of Appeal. Cape Town is the seat of legislative power, where the South African Parliament meets. Sudan. Although Egypt is famous for its iconic pyramids, Sudan is home to more pyramids than any other country in the world, even more than Egypt. In the Meroe region, there are more than 200 pyramids, although they are smaller compared to the Egyptian ones. These pyramids are a testament to the ancient Nubian civilization, which thrived in the region. South Sudan. It is the youngest country in the world, having been created on July 9, 2011. In a referendum held in January 2011, the majority of the population voted in favor of Sudanese independence. As a result, the Republic of South Sudan was proclaimed on February 7, 2011. Sweden, the Nobel Prizes, one of the most prestigious awards in the world, have their origins in Sweden. These prizes were established by the will of Swedish inventor and industrialist Alfred Nobel in 1895. Since 1901, the Nobel Prize award ceremonies have been held in Stockholm, the Swedish capital, with the exception of the Nobel Peace Prize, which is awarded in Oslo, Norway. Switzerland. The Swiss consume more chocolate than any other nation in the world. It is estimated that each Swiss person consumes around 24 pounds of chocolate per year, as Switzerland produces some of the finest and most globally recognized chocolates, such as Toblerone. Suriname. A holiday called Bigi Spikri is celebrated here, whose name in Spanish means big mirror. This day commemorates the founding of the country and the abolition of slavery by their ancestors. During Bigi Spikri, the Surinamese take part in a colorful parade filled with dancing, drumming, singing, and flags. Thailand. It is the only country in Southeast Asia that was never colonized by a European power. In addition, the King of Thailand, Maha Vajiralongkorn, is the richest king in the world, with twice the fortune of the Arab monarchs, with a personal fortune exceeding $70 billion. Tanzania. It is known for being the birthplace of Freddie Mercury, legendary vocalist of Queen. Tajikistan. Here there is a lake known as Iskanderkul, which translates as Lake of Alexander in Spanish. Legend attributes its name to Alexander the Great, the famous Greek conqueror, who is said to have passed through this region during his military campaigns in Central Asia. East Timor. It is distinguished by being the only country in the region where Portuguese is the official language. In addition, in the picturesque Bay of Dili, the capital, there is a replica of the Cristo Rei, similar to the emblematic monument of Lisbon and the Christ the Redeemer of Rio de Janeiro, although on a smaller scale. Togo. In Lomé, the capital of Togo, is the Ako de Sawa fetish market, which is famous for being the largest voodoo market in the world. Here, visitors can find a wide variety of objects used in spiritual practices, including skulls, crocodiles, skins, etc. Tonga. In Tongan culture, there is a recognized third gender known as Whakaleti or lady. Whakaleti are individuals assigned male at birth, but who identify and express themselves in ways traditionally associated with femininity. They may dress in women's clothing, adopt feminine mannerisms, and play specific social roles in Tongan society. Trinidad and Tobago. In 1977, Janelle Penny Commission, originally from Trinidad and Tobago, made history by becoming the world's first African-American Miss Universe. Turkmenistan, under the late President Sapir Murat Niyazov, and then under his successor, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedow, the country has come under fire for its authoritarian political system, where political freedoms and freedom of expression face severe restrictions. Tunisia. In Tunisia, the Matmata Desert became iconic when George Lucas chose this region to film parts of the first Star Wars film, A New Hope, in 1977. He used the troglodyte houses of Matmata that are preserved to this day, attracting visitors and fans of the saga. Turkey. Here, Istanbul is a truly unique city as it straddles two continents, Europe and Asia, divided by the Bosphorus Strait, Ukraine. In Kyiv, there is the deepest metro station in the world, Arsenal Naya. To reach it, passengers descend an escalator that seems endless, reaching a depth of 115 yards underground. Uganda. Here, the average number of children per woman is one of the highest in the world, with almost 7 children per woman. Uruguay. During the period from 2010 to 2015, José Mujica served as the country's president, earning worldwide recognition for his austere lifestyle. Known as El Pepe, Mujica was considered the poorest president in the world due to his refusal to live in the presidential residence and his choice to remain on his humble farm, where he grew flowers to survive. Uzbekistan. Here, the automotive landscape is dominated by Chevrolet, so much so that the country is sometimes referred to as the country of white Chevrolets. This is because 94% of cars sold in Uzbekistan are of this brand, because Chevrolet Uzbekistan is a state-owned company with a large manufacturing plant in Osaka that employs more than 5,000 workers. Vanuatu. Here lies the ancestral origin of a practice that surprises the modern world: bungee jumping. Every April, during the yam harvest, local inhabitants build wooden towers 22 to 33 yards high. These structures, known as nangol, become the scene of a daring ritual. Young men and women of the village prepare for the nangol by tying vines to their ankles. Then, with courage, they launch themselves from the top of the towers, plummeting towards the crops. Vatican. With a tiny surface area of just 0.17 square miles, it is recognized as the smallest country in the world. In fact, it is the only country in the world that can be completely covered on foot in less than an hour. Venezuela. It is home to the highest waterfall in the world, known as Angel Falls, an impressive waterfall that falls from a height of 1,070 yards with a free fall of about 882 yards. Vietnam. It is famous for housing the largest cave in the world, the impressive Son Doong Cave. There are 150 caves which are more than 820 feet high, 492 feet wide, and extend over about 3 miles in length. Yemen. The Jambiya, a short curved dagger, is part of the daily attire of people born in this country. Djibouti. It has a desert climate with scarce rainfall that ranges between 1.77 and 5 inches per year. This extreme climate condition contributes to the fact that only 0.3% of the country's surface is covered by forests, and that's why it doesn't have any permanent rivers. Zambia. Kenneth Kaunda was a central figure in Zambia's history, being the country's first president after its independence in 1964. Zimbabwe. Victoria Falls, a natural wonder located on the border with Zambia, owes its name to Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom. It was the explorer David Livingstone who named it in honor of the British monarch after discovering it in 1855, thus leaving a historical legacy that endures to this day. That's a wrap on our global adventure. We hope you enjoyed discovering these fun and surprising facts from every corner of the world. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and like for more curious facts.